Hi.
Beware the words.
Right.
Words? What do you mean?
Contagious were those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind. It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
What? In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Deathdream had spread across the forest of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined that Deathdream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Weiss stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are you saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, yes. I think you have.
In other words, we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm Yonah's suspicion, Weiss exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's
My
remarks.
remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who Yonah had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
Yonah and Weiss racked their brains, but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Weiss does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Weiss chose his words carelessly seemed to sting
It
his
does
pride.
not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Irritated, Weiss looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Yonah like a contagion. Uh-oh. Wait, said Yonah suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Weiss aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words? What was it? It was about dreaming or something that dreams or... Oh, what the hell was it? A sheep? Cried Weiss suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Yonah's face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said. Those who dream, that's what he said, I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Yonah. "That sounds right," he said, as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. "My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep." The mayor shook his head. His worn pencil stopped tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. "For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we call the Deathdream," he said. "I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along. But I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams." The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. "I should probably be taking notes or something." Weiss immediately fired back. "I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams," he said. "But perhaps we should bend our efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it." The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. "I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out. But I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it." He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. "My village was beautiful," he said, to no one in particular. "And it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens." Yonah nodded in agreement. "Huh? Wait a second. I didn't nod." "Look, if we can be of any help," said Yonah, "just ask." "Now hold on, I did not just say that." "Silence!" cried Weiss. The Grimoire looked from Yonah to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Weiss' face is always confident. Thank you very much. "Now see here, Mayor. You told us that nothing can exist in this dream without you knowing of it, but yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes?" The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. "Oh my God," he said. You're right. I had no idea you were coming." "The human imagination is a limitless engine," said Weiss, "and dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out." "Thank you," said the mayor. "I don't know how I can repay you." "Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place." The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. "Good luck, you two," he called at the departing forms of Yonah and Weiss. "We are all counting on you." As Yonah slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of déjà vu. "I saw this man once before," he thought. "But where?" Yonah's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once, he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Weiss was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion. Unhindered by either terrain or physical effort, he spent most of his time urging Yonah to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Weiss muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Yonah snapped. "Okay, Weiss, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk." Yonah leaned against a tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. "How can this stupid forest be so big?" he muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, a cacophony of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Yonah slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard, "Weiss, what's going on?" Yonah could see Weiss' mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. The insect screamed, the forest howled, and then, just as Yonah's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. "Three, three, three, three." Shuck, shuck, shuck. Chick, chick, chee, chick, chick, chee, chick, chick, chee. Ooh, ma. Ooh, ma. Shick, shick, seek, shick, 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 seek. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Yonah began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise. It's something else. The insects weren't just calling out. They were asking a question. One with it is lacking. 2 with it is ideal. 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? By my pages, is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? The answer is a secret. The answer is a seesaw. How should I know? Oh, we can choose. I would go with this one. Weiss' mouth flew open, but before he could say anything, the world suddenly shifted. Reen, reen, wah! Reen, reen, wah! Shick, shick, key! Shick, shick, key! When Yonah came to, he was once again surrounded by the sounds of insects. The cries of the insects were creating words. Words he had heard before somewhere before. And we're back. Right, well, I don't know how a secret would be good too, but inwardly furious that Weiss left the task to him, Yuni sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insect stopped as suddenly as it began. The forest undergrowth parted before Yuni like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest arthropods are making a road for us, said Weiss with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Yuni moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had a purpose. I guess the forest has accepted us, huh? Said Yuni after a bit. Weiss spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Weiss finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Yuni picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Weiss. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Light. Absurdly easy, barked Weiss. Now answer it. Yuni grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. He's right, after all, this one is pretty easy. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? I am sunlight. Sunlight! A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, said Weiss softly, I have never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey, look, cried Yuni, awaking Weiss from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Weiss saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Weiss? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Yuni walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Yuni, but before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? I am man. Yuni tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, said Weiss, it seems we must answer his riddle. Yeah, I suppose, said Yuni. Well, at least it's an easy one. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? A man! The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. "You're the mayor," cried Yonah. The small man slowly shook his head. "I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago I saw a version of you that was not yourself." Sorry? What's that mean?" "It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Deathdream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance." With that, the man turned on his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Unicum watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Yonah and Weiss returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. "Good gravy!" he cried. "You made it! You actually made it back!" His left hand grasped Yonah's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Weiss by the cover and swung him through the air. "Gah! By the heavens! Stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not." The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. "I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again." Yonah withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. "We broke the Deathdream's seal," he said. "At least, I think we did." The mayor's face beamed as Yonah filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the three of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Yonah cocked his head. "Okay, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep?" "Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool! Fight against the rules of this place's futility itself." Yonah and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. "Have you forgotten?" continued Weiss. "It is words that control the Deathdream, words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue." With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. "This is the first time," began the mayor, "the first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here." His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Yonah shook the mayor's shoulder gently. "Good news," he said. "I think we made it." "Oh wow," said the mayor in an awed voice. "We did. I'm back." He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. "You two have no idea how much this means. The Deathdream was spreading through our village and I wanted to... Well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and become trapped in my own dream." The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to the earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked, then glanced at Yonah and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I am sure, said Weiss. For now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. No, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Deathdream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Weiss. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our tree is home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Yonah and Weiss could not contain their surprise. It seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, muttered Weiss, this is certainly a stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Yonah mentioned the strange man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left with them. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before, too. Yonah tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Déjà vu, right? Anyway, I figured it's just some kind of illusion created by the Deathdream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Yonah gave the mayor a nod and a smile, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. Something wrong about the mayor and his words. And what exactly is going on here? That riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
And we're back. Hi.
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
I wonder why they stopped reading in the middle of all this.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Dark execution. Summon magical spikes from the ground to impale enemies. Charge to increase the number of spikes. Cool beans.
Sealed verse. That didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink it, Weiss.